Prologue. The happiest day was when the souls finally got to rest. William's soul was restored in the aftermath of the horror attraction burning down. It was now peaceful, but for odd reasons, the animatronics lived on. They stayed alive, no child within. The only one with a soul was Marionette. She couldn't move on. She was devoted to helping the rest of the animatronics move on as well. The animatronics at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place were let out to wander the world and were not seen for a very long time. The likelihood of getting each and every one to gather up again would be low, but they could for sure bring back the rock stars. It just had to be a matter of time. But regardless, Marionette had a plan, to keep ones without a home together and be one big family. But she had to start small. First, a building. Chapter 1. Inside of Freddy Fazbear's New and Improved 2008, April 11th. Marionette lifted herself out of her box. Quietly, she stepped down and made her way to the main room. Luckily, they had not seen her leave earlier, so she only had to tell them of the plan. She only had to convince Toy Freddy and Withered Freddy, then the others would follow without question. Not many were awake at this early hour, but that was not an issue. Toy Freddy was always awake before everyone else, doing whatever business was needed for that day. If she could at least convince him, Withered Freddy would consider it as well. She moved through the main area, to the hallway, and out to the office at the end. The building had been abandoned since the place shut down, but it was never demolished, so everything stayed the same as it was. Toy Freddy was asleep at the desk, doing some of his work. She walked around it, then placed her careful, clawed hands onto his shoulder, which made his eyes open up, and just a moment later, he sat up and looked at her. "Oh, Marionette, sorry. I must have dozed off," he apologized, stretching his arms softly. "It's not an issue. I've only come to speak with you." "Is it Mangle acting up again?" He brought his paw to his forehead with a soft sigh. "No, she's just as asleep as the others. It's something much different." She shook her head gently. "Are we finally moving?" Toy Freddy smirked with a chuckle. "Funny you would guess that." She looked back down the hall for a moment before continuing. "I have an idea for something in the future. Something that might be a big change for everyone." "Well, I'm open to ideas. I've been thinking about leaving this place eventually, but I have no idea where to go." "That's part of it. I found a new, unoccupied place just an hour away from here. It's unused, untouched, and we'll be able to take it over as ours." "That sounds great. But why did you find it?" "I want to bring everyone back. Almost every Fazbear's Entertainment animatronics will live in that large building with us, and we can be together." She moved to sit on the corner of the desk, her claws gently curling around the edges. "We'll be like a family, all of us together to protect each other and resolve our issues before we too eventually pass on like the souls." "That doesn't sound too bad, but wouldn't some of them not want that? I mean, the newest restaurant's animatronics only came around a year ago, and I'm not sure they would want to leave their home so soon." "I have my ways, Y.A.F. Trust me on this." "I guess I will, as long as it's a new place where we can still perform," Toy Freddy shrugged. "You'll be able to perform until you malform, my friend," she chuckled softly. "Once the Wizards wake up, I'll tell Withered Freddy about leaving, and you should tell your friends about it too." "I will. I'm sure they're as eager to leave as I am." Marionette stood up from the desk, quietly floating back down the hall, her claws dragging along the painted walls. It seemed odd to her that one of the only places she lived in the longest would be abandoned like the last ones. It was a bit sad, but she already came to terms with it, as this new place would be much better for them. It would be less crowded, more rooms to live in, a basement, and a large stage and dining room. What more could be there for them? Marionette had pulled Withered Freddy aside, in a small room just beside the stage. She didn't want the other Wizards to eavesdrop on them. "Did I do something wrong?" Withered Freddy asked nervously, bringing his hand to his shoulder to scratch at it. "Not at all. You're just fine. It's something else I want to talk about." Oh, can I guess what it is?" Marionette sighed, then turned to Withered Freddy. "Sure." Withered Freddy paused for a moment to think. His eyes narrowed. You getting married?" "No," she said flatly. You're getting a job? Why would I tell you about that? I don't know, you're the one who pulled me in here. You're the one trying to guess. She crossed her arms over her chest. You're the one making me guess. You asked if you could. Maybe. Can you tell me what it is? Marinette paused for a moment, then spoke in a low tone. We're planning on moving to a new building. Okay. With Freddie's ear flicked softly, and he looked strangely unaffected. I was expecting you'd have a different reaction. Well, to be honest, this place might be close to me, and the only place I've ever been in, but it's a bit too crowded for all 13 of us. It would probably be best for us to go somewhere else for a change. Good that you're on board. Do you think the others brothers would be alright about it? Very much, especially Chica. She's huge and struggles to fit in the parts and service door. Well, you should tell them about it. We're going to leave next week, so if you want to bring anything along, you should get it packed. Alright, bye-ya. He turned, quickly moving out of the stage room. Marinette stood in the room for a moment longer, just thinking about what might happen next. She wondered how this might go, and all the places they would have to go to find the other animatronics. It would be a bit of a struggle and would take time to get everyone back, but it shouldn't be as bad as she was imagining it.